did you feel? You keep asking and keep on asking. Were you tired? As if being tired could explain everything. As if being tired could explain anything. She's old, you whisper. Am not old, was not old. 42 at the time, in my prime, some might say. Oh, Rosa, remember for us, Rosa, remember. The snow that day was like a cotton wool carpet. You know what my earliest memory is? My parents whispering in wonderment. Did you see that? He treated her just like a little white girl. And he did. Moses' son-in-law, the Yankee soldier. Moses owned the plantation next to us in Alabama. He came to visit when I was about 5. The Yankee soldier patted my braids and he called me a cutie. Father's jaw dropped. Mama, her big brown eyes pulled with tears. Me, I sensed pleasure in the room, but I wasn't sure why until much later. All because I'd been treated, looked upon, like a little white girl instead of the black girl I was, and by an all-round American too. What a thing. I want the harshest words to spill from my lips. I want to use language I have never used before. But telling them, the press, the biographers, even years and years after, I still can't say what I want. But hey, maybe I can tell you. You've come to visit the famous Rosa. It makes me want to scream. It makes me want to let forth one of them movie starlet screams. You know the ones that shatter glass and make whole windows implode. I want to scream, leave me. I did not ask for this. I do not want to be your poster girl. The responsibility weighs too heavy on my shoulders. Remember, Rosa, remember for us. You people, always so much more interested in them. I nearly slipped on the way to the bus stop. Back then, what did I want to scream? I wanted to scream, me? Why should I give up my seat for you? Are you crazy? Are you ill? What is the matter with you? With this goddamn country? Ku Klux Klan was real active when I was around 7. My grandpa used to keep his shotgun close all the time like it was taped to his hip. We slept in our clothes, you know, in case we needed to run in the middle of the night. I think my anger was conceived right then, the night we heard our neighbor's screams. The little ones were so much higher than the parents. I never ran to hide. If it was going to happen, I wanted to see it. I wanted to watch my grandpa shoot that gun. I wanted to watch those KKK heads bust like watermelons. There's a glorious moment when you're tiny and you look in the mirror and you realize the person staring back is you. My body, my brain, oh, the possibilities, what a wonder my life will be. But not for us. Not if you're black. Not ever. You see, being black, it's not like being treated like an animal. It's worse than that. Worse. Ah, Rosa. Remember for us, Rosa. Remember. The snow that day made everything look magical. I never have been able to believe in the good of humanity. I remain childless for a reason. Who, with any conscience, would bring innocence into this murk? Sully hope with this filth. Every journey, every ride to work, people just moved. We didn't have to. It wasn't the law. Sure, we were expected to, but we didn't have to. But they moved anyway. No rolled eyes, no sighs, no complaints. They just stood up, slid over, and rolled into the aisle. As if they were nothing. As if they didn't count. As if they were just invisible ghosts. Vermin wraiths. Spirits. Black spirits spiraling downwards forever into that bottomless pit. And me? Back then, I couldn't sleep much for thinking. You see, I needed to know. I needed to understand who had stolen their bodies. Where was the life within them? Who had quenched their fire? Give them back their backbones. They're going to need those guts. My rage, it came at night. It used to whisper in my ear like a lover, a freight train as it gathered speed. Who were we to be told? Stand for something or you will fall for anything. What's that? The NAACP. The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Advancement. I only worked there because I was too timid to say no. You see, for me, believing came later. Believing that we could change things came later on when I had to investigate the case of Reese Taylor. You know about Reese. Surely you've heard of Reese Taylor. No? Of course not. I mean, why would you? Did she decide to not get off of the bus? Did she take a firm stand? You want to know who she was? Why? Because I've mentioned her name? You should scuttle off to your history books. But I will put you out of your misery. Reese Taylor was kidnapped leaving church by white folk. Awful, right? But it doesn't end there. Not only was she kidnapped, she was raped. You don't look shocked? Not surprised? Okay. Here's the facts. The bare, basic, brutal facts. She was raped by 6 white men. Aha. Now you seem to be flinching. And you want to know what happened to those men? 2 juries. Those men who admitted their crime. 2 grand juries. Oh, how grand they were. All those white men up on their juries. Nothing. They let them off. Why? Because they were U.S. Navy men? Maybe. But it's okay. Do you want to know why it's okay? Because the Alabama House of Representatives apologized on behalf of the state, no less. No less. They apologized for their failure to prosecute her attackers. I want to see you flinch again. I want to stir it up in you. I want y'all to feel some of what I feel every day. Oh, they apologized. Sure. They apologized 67 years later. And you want to know when they apologized? On Mother's Day. And you want to know where they apologized? In the same church where Reese had been kidnapped. No thought, thoroughly thoughtless. And you know what Reese did? She stood and she sobbed. That was a good day to present it to me on. I wasn't expecting that. Wasn't expecting that? No. Who would? We just expect to be raped and humiliated and never apologized to. And on Mother's Day, too. What were they thinking? In what world, on what planet would that seem like a good idea? You know, it makes me want to laugh. It actually makes me want to run howling from this place. But if I let the control I have over my gut, over my throat slip, I won't be no use to anybody. So I'm going to take a deep breath. Deep breaths, Rosa. Remember, Rosa, remember, see, Pete, the name, it leaves something to be desired, don't you think? I'm not colored. I'm not pink or blue or green. Black. It doesn't mean I'm dirty. Doesn't mean I'm evil. My skin does not mean that I am exotic, certainly not beautiful. It doesn't mean that I like, certain music, or I'm good at dance, or that I'm good at sports. White. Your skin does not have the same connotations as the color white. You are not calm. You are not pure. You are not light. Y'all better make it light on yourselves and let me have those seats, he said. That James F. Blake. We all know what the F stands for, don't we? Same poor excuse of a man who turfed me out into the rain 12 years earlier. He told me to get off the bus and enter by the back door. And so I did. I always did do what I was told. But before I could get back on, he drove away. I saw him smiling, that James F. Blake. And so, I sometimes like to dream. I dream I whipped out my seamstress scissors and I plunged them deep into his throat, into his stomach. It wouldn't matter which. But of course, I didn't. I wouldn't. What I did was reasonable. I moved quietly. With respect, I was blooming with dignity. But my God, I had never known a rage like it. Not in all my 42 years. Full of murder I was. And it changed me. That level of hatred for the human race. Realization that there was no humanity. I could not believe it. It still stuns me. Do you have any idea what it feels like to be in my skin? To be written off or revered? Not for the words that you speak, not for the deeds you do or the stirrings of your soul, but simply based on your skin. Make it light. You all better make it light on yourselves. I think he meant white. I think he meant y'all better make it white on yourselves. Remember, Rosa. Remember for them. I wasn't tired, though it had been a long day and it was past 6. And I wasn't old, though my years of limitless possibilities seemed to be fading. I need you to understand. Please try to understand. I was not angry, and I wasn't scared. The man next to me, he moved without even thinking about it. I shivered. All the hairs on my skin stood up. It was like a light had been snuffed out behind his eyes, like a damp finger pinch on a lit candle. I think it was the way his shoulders just dropped. They didn't droop. They didn't fall. They just dropped. And suddenly, I could feel him. Suddenly, I could feel all of us blackbirds on that bus rammed into our cages. Our insides burning, churning, screaming, I am one of you! Of course, you know what it's like to be judged for being thin or fat, ugly or attractive, a man or a woman. But black, it's different. We can't pretend it's the same. Remember, Rosa, remember. My legs tingled, and I shifted over to the window and leant my head against the glass. It felt like Mama's rag on my forehead when I had a fever. The world resumed its normal pace. All I wanted was to stare out the window at all the Christmas decorations going up around town and wonder what was in all those pretty packages. I didn't want no trouble. I didn't want to move. I did not want to move. I sometimes wish we were all skeletons, walking around with our skulls wobbling and nodding to each other. A society of blind people, blissful. We would be forced to use our fingers to gently caress one another's features. We would have to trust the tone of voice, tease out those nuances. Remember, Rosa, for my story, my walk-on part in Black history, my sit-down story of a sort, had a happy ending. You know about it, right? The Montgomery bus boycott. Every man, woman, and child refused to get on the buses. What a thing. Everybody on foot. White workers gave black servants a lift. Black taxi drivers wouldn't charge more than the buses until, of course, they got fined by the authorities. But what a thing to see. The streets were crowded with cars, brimming with bicycles. We hitchhiked. People rode horse-drawn buggies, mules. We were busy, and the community spirit soared. Everybody pulled together. We were busy. Busy, busy, busy. No, it didn't last a week. Don't try and insult us. And it wasn't a month either. Do you want to take a guess at our grit, our determination? For 381 days, we were all thoroughly united. For 381 days, our feet torn and bleeding, our thigh muscles bulging, we all were united. What then? What then, Rosa? You wonder. What in that completion? That clean-cut conclusion? Well, the law's changed. The law is easy to change as the mind of a child. We were allowed to sit anywhere we liked on the bus. And me? I always preferred to walk.